Hi guys, welcome to our final presentation for MetaAdapt. Our project is, again, MetaAdapt, sponsored by Meta, standing for Ad and Activity Insights Platform. My name is Andy, I'm the team CEO.
My name is Richard Huynh, I am the team CTO.
And my name is Timothy Wong, I'm the Chief AI Officer, CAIO.
Okay, cool. So just to get into a little bit about the introduction and motivation of our project, I think something that we can all agree on is how ads drive revenue for a lot of companies. And something that we realized while we were doing research is that a lot of these online ads suffer from really low click-through rates, which is this statistic that kind of shows us like when users see an ad, how often or how likely are they to actually interact with it, click on it, do whatever, right? And so this rate is really low, and we kind of saw that as an opportunity for us to come in and try and improve on that. So that's kind of where our project comes in. Something unique about our project is that we take a more ethical approach to this. We try not to use personally identifiable information, which is PII. In that way, we're not using things like race or gender or age to generate like a demographic profile on these people, but instead we're looking directly at their browsing history and trying to identify trends in their behaviors. So yeah, that's kind of the basis for our project, for our objectives. We'll talk about it a little bit more in depth later, but we have, for our technical portion, we have a data pipeline and ML algorithm and our recommendation engine, and all of this is just leveraging machine learning and AI to basically come up with our results. And then we also have a way for evaluation, which includes like our generated character profiles that we kind of just tailored to have like certain interests, and then we can see how accurate they are in the results we have. And lastly, ethical design, that again we'll touch on later.
But yeah, so to go a little bit more in depth about our system design and our pipeline. So first of all, in our front end, we created like a React front end, and this is where our user is going to be able to input their browsing history, and this is where the user will be able to like start the process, right? We're going to use our fast APIs to be able to send all this data from the users to the backend, where this is where we're going to start by pre-processing this data. We're going to do some feature extraction, try to get the most information we can out of these browsing histories, and this will help us create these user interest profiles, right? So this is where we have our training models. We have a vectorizer, and then we also have a categorizer. And this helps us actually create the user interest profiles, and it helps us like get the information that we want from our browsing history, and then create these scores for our users to actually like kind of show what our users are more interested in. And then we're going to have our evaluation. This is where we're just going to have some metrics, some more calibration, getting rid of bias. And then we'll finally have a deployment of our model APIs, and we'll just have some more real-time scoring of our system for our users.
Yeah. And more on ethical considerations, as Andy already touched on in the beginning, we really value privacy with Adapt, and the main thing is that we do not collect any PII, personal identifiable information, from our users, meaning that their personal data like demographics, location, etc. are safe. And fairness-wise, we have already evaluated for bias within browsing history, and so whether you shop one day a lot on one item, that won't affect the other days that as outputted. And so we avoid using sensitive info, and as well as transparency, we're very clear on what we do, and everything is user uploaded, local, and is run on a very lightweight API, which means that none of this data will leave this and be uploaded elsewhere and be sold to other people. So the purpose of our product is to improve ad relevance for our users, as well as just increasing revenue for that matter. And so we're not meant to surveil people or do anything that is shady and sells your information for profit. And so more on results and visualizations. Up here is an example of the results that you might see on the front end UI. So here we have a pie chart which includes several categories such as computers and technology, food, streaming services. So the top category we can see is computers and technology, 50%, 51%. That's probably what they're most interested in based on their browsing history. And from there you can look into subcategories, and we'll dig more into that in the demo. So for future work and challenges, we have scaling the model to handle large data sets. Currently, we already have a very good capability of dealing with thousands and thousands of browsing history data, and it runs up to a minute and is very quick. So in the future, we will account for however much browsing history will come in. We might put some limits on that so that people won't upload too much, but that's something to deal with in the future. Second, accuracy of models. There's always ways to improve on accuracy, cutting out certain keywords, and just introducing more tuning for our models. Another thing is increasing upfront transparency of how we use the data. And so first of all, we don't really use the data in any way, but being able to emphasize that to our customers is of utmost importance. And lastly, developing APIs for this entire integration to be an automatic thing for advertisers is very important to us. We want to make sure that this is a middleman workflow for the entire workflow from all the way from uploading the data to outputting ads that are relevant. So we just want to make this an easier process that's automatic, hands-off, hands-free, and allows for more relevant ads to be pumped out quickly. So yeah.
Let's go over our demo.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and go over demo.
Okay, now for our actual demo, this is kind of our application right here. You can see, you can choose any name, so I'll put my own, but we can kind of go in here. Can you help me find the, the files? But he's gonna pull up our user profiles that we have generated. So again, like these are tailored for a specific like user type. So we're gonna use, let's say the foodie. So if we upload this and we run our predictions, we'll kind of see it'll start training, and after a couple seconds, it'll should pull up our graph. Okay, cool. And then this is kind of our breakdown. So as you can see, top interest is food, business, food and games. So that kind of lines up with what we were saying earlier. And if you scroll down, there'll be more information, and you can see like not everything is perfectly a match, but again, like we shared, like future work. Yeah. Thanks.